Hey everybody, I made some cream cheese homemade biscuits yesterday, and I've had several people ask me for the recipe. On my posting yesterday, I did kind of write it down. I don't measure when I cook things like that, but I decided I'm going to make some more biscuits today, and I'm going to try my best to measure so y'all can see how it's done. These are really, really good biscuits. So anyway, I'm going to make some more right now. I have my oven on, preheating to 425. I have a pan here that I'm going to put these biscuits in, and I'm going to butter this pan just a little bit. This is a non-stick pan, but I am going to put a little butter on the bottom of it here anyway. Get it buttered up good. Those kids liked those biscuits yesterday. I've got a teenage granddaughter here and an 11-year-old granddaughter here, in addition to Caitlin and Blake, but they really love these biscuits. So I have no doubt these are going to be eaten, even though I made some yesterday. So I'm going to take most of the rest of this stick of butter, and I'm going to put it in this bowl right here because I'm going to melt it and brush over the top of the biscuits when they get done. So I'm just going to set this aside for right now because I am going to melt this. I'm going to try my best with measuring and hope it turns out, because I don't measure things. So I have 4 cups of self-rising flour in this bowl, and I'm going to take this whisk here and kind of whisk around it, because whisking around in flours does the same thing as putting it through a flour sifter. It sifts the flour, makes it good and fine, gets all the little knots out of it stuff. So if you don't have a flour sifter, the whisk does the very same thing. So it makes it good and soft and fine. Instead of putting Crisco in the biscuits, I put 8-ounce thing of cream cheese in here. This is the full fat cream cheese. So it's not reduced fat or fat-free. I don't know if you can buy fat-free cream cheese. I think you can. I think I bought it. So anyway, I'm going to 4 cups of self-rising flour and an 8-ounce bar of full-fat cream cheese. I'm going to kind of squeeze this cheese in here and mix it around in the flour until, and I have washed my hands, until it gets like a dirt-like consistency. I don't want a lot of cream cheese chunks in it. Just, it takes just a few minutes to do that, especially when your flour is cold and your cream cheese is cold, because I store my flour in the refrigerator, and of course the cream cheese is in there. So when you mix the two together, the cream cheese gets a little bit more firm, which probably does help in the, that's my oven preheated, probably does help in the crumbling part. It's not soft and just wants to mush up. So anyway, you just keep doing it until it's all mixed up together and it's like a dirt-like feel. You know what dirt feels like. Don't have any big clumps of cream cheese. Because sometimes, even though the biscuits are baked and everything, every now and then you'll see a little piece of cream cheese in it that hasn't dissolved all the way. So it's okay. It still tastes good. I was off work Sunday and Monday. That's my usual nights to work. But I know the nurse is going on vacation tomorrow. She usually works Tuesday and Wednesday nights, and she asked me to switch with her. So she works Sunday, Monday, so now I have to go in and work tonight and tomorrow night. So that throws me off a little bit, and I'm sure it threw her off, but we do what we can to help each other out, especially when it comes to vacation time. Okay, I got all that mixed together. It is like a coarse dirt-like consistency, but it's all mixed in together there. Now I use half and half. I use part buttermilk and part milk, and I'm not going to measure this. You just pour it in there till, I mean, even if you have to pour several times, This is just a little quart here, and I don't know, for the video I'll try to measure this and see if it turns out. I just kind of eyeball it. So I'm gonna put, let's see, I can't see that because I had flour in this cup here. Okay, I'm gonna put, where we at? All right, 1.5 cups of buttermilk. 1.5 cups of buttermilk. And then I'm going to start, I need somebody to open this milk for me. Sorry, because I have flour in my other hand. Okay, 1.5 cups of buttermilk. And I'm going to start out with 1/2 cup of regular milk. See what that does. It's skim milk. You can use regular 1%, 2%. So that's 1.5 cups of buttermilk, and so far I have 1/2 cup of regular milk in here. I'm sure all you biscuit makers out there use your hands, just like I do. That's the way to do it. I'm gonna put another 1/2 cup of milk in there, so it's gonna be a total of 1 cup of milk right now. And this is 4 cups of flour. I hope that didn't make too much because I'm out of flour. I just have enough to lay down on this sink to, ooh, it's a little bit juicy. Okay, that might be a little bit too much. I'm still going to make this work. So you'll want to do 1.5 cups of buttermilk and say about 3/4 cup of regular milk instead of a whole cup. 4 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of buttermilk, and 3/4 cups of, sorry, I'm getting the lid here, 3/4 cups of regular milk. It's a little bit juicy here, but a little bit thin here, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make this work. See, that's what happens when you're a eyeball cook. You start measuring, you mess it up. But that's okay. We're gonna get it fixed out here. Got some chicken laid in the sink here. So I'm gonna wash this off my hands. All right. Now, if you want to make your biscuits good and fluffy and airy, don't knead them a whole lot. I just kind of put it out on some flour and just kind of flip the sides up a few times. Because if you knead it a whole lot, your biscuits are going to kind of turn out a little bit tougher. They won't be nice and airy. I hope I have enough flour to make this work here because it's a little bit juicy. So I'm gonna put, you see what I'm doing here? I think you can. I'm gonna put some flour out here. Just kind of around a little bit. That's all the flour I have. I've got to buy some more. So I barely have enough to do this today. So I'm going to pour my dough right out here on top. You can see that's a little bit runny there. We're going to make it work though. We're going to make it work. I'll set this chicken in here. Out of the way just a little bit. Make sure your hands are good and dry. It's gonna stick. Get some water in that pan there. Okay, so I hope I have enough flour here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of roll the edges up. This is really thin dough. I put too much milk in it. If I had had enough flour, I would have just added more flour to it, but I knew I was out and I needed to. This might take a little bit more rolling here. A little bit more rolling here than usual. I'm not really mashing it down or anything. Just kind of rolling it up. Yeah. That's what you get for measuring. Just trying to do this for the video here, just to give you all an idea of what I do. Normally it wouldn't take this much rolling, so if you cut back on that liquid, or if you put in too much, you can always add a little bit more flour, but I just didn't have it to add today. Go over there in that cabinet and get me that Kentucky Kernel flour. It should be. I use that Kentucky Kernel flour when I fry chicken. It's just seasoned flour. It's got salt and pepper and stuff in it. I might just have to use it. Yeah, can you open it? Might just have to use it around here because, yeah. This right here. This makes delicious fried chicken, Kentucky Kernel. We're not doing chicken, but anyway, I'm just showing you the flour that I'm using. It is just regular flour, but it's got a little bit of seasoning in it, like salt and pepper. So we're just going to have to make do today with that because I'm out of flour. Just add a little bit more flour on this. Yeah, that's going to work out. Okay, that's gonna help a lot there. So you just want to, I'm not mashing down at all when I'm doing this. Not mashing down at all. I'm just kind of flipping up the sides. Okay. I think I've got it enough to where I can turn it over. There you go. Look at that. I'm going to try and wash some of this excess off my hands. I'm blaming you all for this because I'm trying to measure to show you all. If I wasn't measuring, it wouldn't turn out like that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, got to dry your hands really good if you have to rinse them off. Can you see that? There. That ball of dough that I have. Dry, dry, dry. All right, so I've got my pan here already buttered. This is a nonstick pan. So I'm not rolling these out with a rolling pin or anything. I'm just gonna pick them up. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more flour right here to put on my hands. I'm just gonna pick them up, pinch them off. Can't see my pan. Let me put my pan on this side. There we go. So I'm just gonna pick it up. Pinch off. I'm going to just roll a little bit. I'm not mashing it as I'm rolling it. Just going to roll it a little bit to make it a ball. It's still a little bit sticky. It's really sticky. Sorry, you all. I should not have put the other milk in there, I guess. I'm going to lay the ball down right there and just kind of mash it a little bit. Pick it up, just kind of ball it around a little bit. Don't mash it as you do it, just kind of make it a little ball. Put it in there and just give it a little mash. I'm picking up good size pieces here, you know, to make big biscuits. You can make them as big or small as you want. Might be too much on that one. They're still going to turn out. It just took a little bit extra work there where I had too much liquid in there, but they're still going to turn out. All right, I got 12 big old biscuits out of that. I let this set for about 10 minutes to rise. So I'm getting ready to put them in the oven now. My oven is preheated to 425. Again, I don't know how long because I just eyeball it when I feel like that they're done. So I will let you know how long I actually bake these. And the baking time will also depend on how big you make the biscuits, you know, how thick, how big, and how your oven is. I'll just tell you, you know, these are big biscuits. You know, they're like the palm of my hand, a little bit bigger, I guess. They have risen for about 10 minutes. After they're done baking, I do turn the broiler on for just a few minutes just to brown them good on the top. So I'm going to put these in the oven. I'm going to time and see how long it takes so I can be more specific with you all. And we'll be back just as soon as they're getting done. Okay, got these biscuits all baked now. I baked them for 18 minutes on 425 on the bottom rack. And then I moved them up to an upper rack and put them on broil long enough to brown the top of them. Again, it depends on what size you make them as to how long it takes to bake them. If you make little bitty biscuits, it might not take as long. But these are good size biscuits. So I have melted my butter, and I'm going to kind of brush the top of these. These are some big biscuits here. I think they call these cat head biscuits or something. First time I heard cat head biscuits, I didn't know what in the world people were talking about. And then I think someone told me that was just because it was a big, great big biscuit about the size of a cat head. You know, they said that's how come they call them cat head biscuits. Maybe that's right, maybe that's not, but all I know is the cat head biscuits that I've seen are just big biscuits. So that's probably right. All right, got them all brushed here. Look how shiny they look. Gonna get one out so you can see the middle of it. These are some good biscuits. Look how big these biscuits are. Look at that. Look at the size of that biscuit. You can see how fluffy. See how fluffy that biscuit is. Let me cut it in half a little bit so you can see. Put some hot butter on here and some jelly or apple butter, or let's see if I can get this over here where you can see what I'm doing here. Just kind of cut it open here where you can see the middle there. See how fluffy that is? It's a really good biscuits. Gonna take me a taste of it here. It's really light and fluffy. It's really good. So that is homemade cream cheese biscuits. It worked out just fine with it having too much moisture in it, but if you get too much, just add a little bit more flour. I just didn't have any today to add. I did improvise with that chicken flour a little bit, but it just had salt and pepper in it. You know, you saw what I did. I just used a little bit to help roll it up a little bit. But the key to good biscuits is don't knead them a whole lot, because the more you knead them, they're just going to be tough. They're not going to be light and fluffy. You just kind of roll up the edges until you can kind of pick up the whole thing and flip it over. and pinch it off. The balls, when you make the balls, don't mash them as you're doing it. Just kind of roll them around really light. Put it down on your pan and kind of mash it down a little bit on your pan. Again, I let them rise for about 10 minutes. Then I put them in the oven on 425. Baked them for 18 minutes for this size biscuits. Then I put them under the broiler until they browned on the top a little bit. Then I brushed them with some butter. See how good those look? Cream cheese biscuits. Homemade. I took one out of the middle because I like the middle biscuits. These are delicious. Even if I made it myself, I just think they're delicious. So there you go. A nice, fluffy, light biscuit. So y'all try this recipe. For the ones who specifically asked me for the recipe, I will tag you in this video. I did write the recipe down on my other one, really not, because I just eyeball things, so I didn't really put measurements. But I'll tag the ones who specifically asked me for the address for the recipe in my last post of the biscuits from yesterday. And so you can actually watch them being made. So anyway, I'm gonna go, get ready for work in a little bit, fixing dinner a little bit early for this crew because I do have to go to work. So you all have a very blessed day, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.